The Yamaha TZR250 is a motorcycle manufactured and produced by the Japanese motorcycle manufacturer Yamaha between 1986 and 1996. Yamaha produced the road-going two-stroke motorcycle, loosely based on the TZ250 Yamaha racing bike. Parallel twin, reverse cylinder and finally V-twin variants were produced. It evolved as a natural replacement for the popular RD350/Yamaha RD350LC series of the 1980s. It has the Yamaha Power Valve System which raises and lowers the exhaust port depending on the RPM of the engine. The YPVS servo motor starts to open at about 6,000 RPMs. In standard form 50 bhp is claimed at 10,000 RPMs. Although mid-40s is more realistic, and will not rev much above 9,500 RPMs in standard trim, owing to the restrictive standard exhausts and ignition boxes. Racing, still raced in the Yamaha Past Masters Race Series with the British Racing Club, BMCRC. Racing engines currently claiming circa 56 bhp at 11,000 RPMs. Racing fuel ratios typically 1:30. Standard exhausts are difficult to improve on in terms of power and torque, but they are very large and impede ground clearance. Jolly Moto exhausts are popular replacements as they are lighter, produce similar performance, allow better ground clearance. In 1987 Matt Oxley was the first person to lap the Isle of Man TT course at over 100 miles per hour, riding this model. An F3 racing kit was produced for a few years which included ignition boxes, carbs and EXH, helping increase maximum revs, power and torque. History: production started in June 1986. At a cost of around $6,000 new on release, it was seen as an expensive bike for a 250 cc's, but given that places such as Japan, Italy and Australia had 250 licensing laws in place, one can imagine the stir that something that could hassle 750s on a track caused. The parallel twin 2MA variant being the UK variant and the 1-carat model being the domestic Japanese variant. Variations between these two models being minimal, for example wording on the brake master cylinder in English or Japanese. Lighting arrangements were also different, to comply with UK type approval regulations, particularly the indicators were mounted on stalks rather than fed into the bodywork. In 1989, the parallel twin reverse cylinder version, 3MA arrived, then in 1991 to 1996 the V-twins 315. The 315 came out in 8 variants with different carbs, ignitions, wet and dry clutches, 3 versions of power valves, cylinders and each depicted by different color number boards on the side panels and front fairing. The versions' names being 250R, 250RS, 250RSP, 250SP and 250SPR. The variants closely followed the configuration of motor of the racing TZ250 of the time, sharing the same engine casings, frames and in some models the cylinders, carbs and power valves. Manufacture of TZR250S stopped in 1996. External links: magazine review of the 1987 Yamaha TZR250 released in Canada.